All right, so finally here, like you guys all wanted, we are getting into some Idaho 4. Now here's the interesting topic, and we had a lot of response from the 4chan video, right? And my initial goal was to do a part 2. However, after digging into some of this research, we're going to have to do a part 3 because I can't talk about all the details and background of fraternities and Sigma Chi in that area and have room to talk about the theory itself. Like, that's how much is here around this, and it's insane. So this is part 2, and this is going to be about fraternities and some of the issues we see there to build the legs for the part 3, you know, digging in deeper and really laying out some of those detailed facts around who, why, what, where, and why this theory believes it is these 4 individuals that they do, and if it has any possibility in reality. So, Sigma Chi specifically, right? And that's what this theory is focused on. And just to make a statement, we aren't coming after Sigma Chi itself, but a lot of these details happen to revolve around this. So, if you know, this is an opinion. None of this is opinion here. This is all stuff that I've been able to pull directly off the internet when looking into this fraternity and others. So, Sigma Chi is one of the largest collegiate fraternities with undergraduate chapters of 238 universities and colleges and more than 250,000 living members. A lot of people. Yeah. That's a lot of people. When I was looking through some of the people that are in this, you're talking like Brad Pitt, a whole bunch of movie stars, like there's like 50 NFL players that are in Sigma Chi, another 25 baseball players, like really important, a lot of money. A lot of money is what I was looking at when I was going through it. So, Sigma Chi provides a welcoming environment for young men of different temperaments, talents, and convictions to enjoy a unique lifelong bond that extends far beyond college. Through world-class leadership training, extensive mentoring programs, and a strong focus on academic achievement, Sigma Chi sets itself apart as the preeminent collegiate leadership development organization, challenging its members to live by its core values and exemplify character in action in every aspect of their lives. So, great sales pitch statement, right? Mm-hmm. Now, how did fraternities start, and why do people dislike them so much? So when I was looking this up, okay, I found a pretty good video that gave a rundown of it. I thought it was pretty interesting. But so December 5th, 1776, Phi Beta Kappa was founded by 5 students at the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia. The first meeting was held in the Apollo Room of Raleigh Tavern on December 5th, 1776. That is the first time that we hear about fraternities in general, like at a school.
Collegiate fraternities?
Yeah, collegiate.
It's collegiate.
Collegiate. So, next we hear is at 1825, social fraternities in Schenectady, New York. These were social learning fraternities to help each other grow their knowledge within the college system, and this kicks it off, okay? This starts it, the fraternities. Now, what's interesting is there is a negative situation that really kicks them into motion here. So 1 year later from that 1825 time frame, there is a man who is murdered, okay? In 1826, William Morgan is murdered after threatening to expose Masonic secrets, and he dies mysteriously. Okay? This throws the society of that time into a frenzy. People are freaking out over fraternities, over secret societies, and people literally are rioting in the streets over this and believe that it is tied directly to this. Now, an anti-Masonic party begins, and within the anti-Masonic party, they're also focusing on fraternities as well. And here comes the whole social idea and perception of like fraternities and secret societies are all bad. Like, this is where it starts, is from this 1826 time frame with the anti-Masonic party and the anti-fraternal parties, where there were literal parties of people, political parties of people that were anti any of that, no matter what.
It's still kind of in the beginning of them even existing.
I mean, within the first 100 years.
Yeah.
Within the first 100 years.
You know what's interesting is the Skull and Bones Secret Society, which is an undergraduate senior secret student society at Yale University in Connecticut, was formed in 1832, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's right around that time frame.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the oldest, for sure. So the secret societies are known. Fraternities are known because of this, because our politicians start picking them up and advocating for anti-fraternal and anti-secret society and anti-Masonic parties, political parties, right? So everybody in America knows of it at this time. Now, in 1870, you know how many people were going to college? Under 60,000. So just for average's sake, we'll say 60,000. Now, in 50 years, it goes from 60,000 people in college to 600,000.
Whoa.
Yeah. And with that type of growth, that's times 10, in overall growth. The colleges that were around at that time were not able to keep up with that kind of growth. And remember, that's only 50 years, you guys. Some doctors went to school for 10 years, for 20 years. You know what I mean? That's a very short time to go from 60,000 people in college to 600,000. It is. And you had these few fraternities popping up, like Skull and Bones. You had the Alpha Beta, the Phi Beta Kappa, Alpha Kappa Psi or whatever it was. And the colleges looked to these fraternities to help keep order. So they were having a hard time controlling college students. Everybody knows college students are crazy, right? They're really hard to control. This is partying years. They're there for school. Sometimes they're not working. They have all this extra time on their hands and they party.
You know what's interesting is that the Skull and Bones Society was founded in 1832 after a dispute among Yale debating societies, Linonia, Brothers in Unity, and the Collopian Society over the season's Phi Beta Kappa awards.
So they were like, we're just going to do it our way then. Yeah. See ya. Yeah. Skull and Bones, what's up?
Yeah.
So what colleges did here, okay, because they were unable to manage this amount of people going to school, essentially, around accountability.
Okay.
Colleges started leaning into these fraternities then and looking to them to help control the student base. So then you have the deans who would come to the fraternity leaders, these older seasoned men that were more like what you would expect a dean to see, and be like, hey, you have problems in your fraternity. I need you to take care of this, right? Then those fraternity leaders would go to the, what's it called, overclassmen or older classmen? I probably wrote it.
The alumni?
Down here, the alumni and upperclassmen. The alumni and upperclassmen. Those upperclassmen would then go to the lowerclassmen, and then you have that perfect accountability triangle. You know what I mean? And this is how the colleges learned to keep students in line. And the colleges started using these fraternities to help keep campuses clean, to help keep students in order, for painting, like anything that helped keep the college going. These fraternities were kind of the people that you would turn to. So therein lies like that bond, that college bond that these fraternities have. Now, another interesting factor is somewhere in this 50 years, they also started the fraternity payments, the funding, right? So the college partners with the fraternity and says, hey, fraternity, you're allowed to use all of our trademark labels and school lettering and colors and everything like that. And these fraternities pay into the college. And that payment is never ending. They are every year paying money towards the colleges and schools. Now, on average, for every $1 that a non-fraternal member gives to the college, okay, a fraternal member, a Greek life member, sorority or fraternity, gives 10.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is a huge monetary gain for fraternities to be in colleges.
Yeah.
And it's probably around the fact that fraternities and sororities tend to help people make, on average, 50% more income annually when you're a part of a fraternity or sorority. On average, 50% more income paying jobs.
So that's why universities they would support a fraternity.
Exactly.
They would maybe even help cover something up for a fraternity.
Absolutely. Exactly. You got it.
Maybe even a town that relies on said university and fraternity to exist and have revenue.
Exactly. That
you always follow the money, man.
You're smelling what I'm picking up there. Absolutely. So, now let's get into this, okay?
Yeah.
Now, one thing I wanted to look at when I'm looking into this is, okay, well, what is Sigma Chi about? Mm-hmm. What are they a phenomenal, trustworthy, have their stuff together fraternity, order of men? Or are they one of these worrisome fraternities that are kind of loosely managed and are more that old school style fraternity? When I say old school, I got a comment on one of our videos, and somebody was like, hey, not all fraternities are this way. And trust me, I know. Not all fraternities are this way, you guys. I am not attacking fraternities. I am not attacking sororities. What I am attacking is that old school way of managing things and not having higher expectations. I believe when you're a part of a fraternity or a sorority, a secret society, or a group of people for anything, like, for a while, I was part of one of those. It's super lame, super embarrassing, but you have to have a minimum IQ score. So I was a part of one of those groups in high school. But any of them, right? They should have really high expectations of people. And
okay, so one thing I want to mention is just because you were in a fraternity that wasn't like this, or were in a fraternity that we are mentioning and you didn't have that experience, doesn't make it not true. It could just be the one at your university wasn't that way, or the year you were there, you didn't see those things. Like, just because one person's experience is one thing doesn't make it untrue for anybody else.
Yeah.
And I think that's something like with police corruption, for instance. Just because one police officer had an amazing experience with zero corruption in their police department doesn't mean that another one isn't super corrupt.
Absolutely.
Okay? Like,
absolutely. Yep.
It's different for everybody.
Absolutely.
And I don't think because one fraternity has a bad rap means that all fraternities have a bad rap.
Right.
We're looking at individual people and individual, maybe little groups of people, not just generalizing all fraternities are terrible.
Well, correct. 100% spot on. And knowing that, though, I just feel like these fraternities, sororities, groups of people that are selective in any sort of way need to hold themselves to a higher standard. They should be a representative and model of human society, in my opinion, you know?
It's what they try to portray.
Yeah. All right,
it's not really always true.
Sigma Chi for the last 10 years, okay? And this isn't everything. I got to a point where I was like, dude, I can't fit anymore in this story. It's going to be like an hour and a half long, you know? So, 2022, this is not in chronological order. 2022, Sigma Chi is suspended in 2022. Sigma Chi's University of Kansas chapter has been removed from the campus for 4 years for hazing, lying, and accountability issues. Okay. 2022, Vanderbilt's Alpha Psi chapter of Sigma Chi fraternity was suspended from the campus. The executive committee cited accountability issues and lying within the chapter. 2022, another 2022, the University of Kansas chapter of Sigma Chi fraternity has been indefinitely suspended from the campus. The Sigma Chi International Fraternity had mentioned that the chapter was suspended because of accountability issues. So, literally removed. This college said, you're too much of a liability. You're no longer allowed to be a part of this college.
Ever. Yeah.
Ever. Okay. 2022. University Park, Pennsylvania, the Penn State, and dude, we've already talked about Vanderbilt, which is a huge deal. Penn State, Yale, what was that other one? The Kansas, like these are heavy hitter colleges. These are big deal colleges, right? So Penn State, Office of Student Conduct suspended the Alpha Chi chapter of Sigma Chi through the summer of 2024 for significant violations of COVID-19 policies and accountability issues. This is like a one-size-fit-all. Hey, they're problematic. They're breaking the law, so accountability issues?
They're lying. Lying and accountability has been like the major issues here, which is scary.
It is terrifying when we're talking about a fraternity that is seen as keeping secrets and not supporting our social systems of police and justice and overall law enforcement, our political system, like our democracy.
Wait until we get into the murders.
Yeah, I know. So 2020, Sigma Chi closes its University of Texas at Arlington chapter due to accountability issues, permanently removed. Okay. 2023, Stanford University has ended an 86-year lease on its campus with Alpha Omega Housing Corporation, the alumni corporation that provides the housing to Sigma Chi fraternity. And based on the comments I was reading, it was due to the fact that they didn't want Sigma Chi on Greek Row. So, pulled that lease out from under them. 2022, the University of Iowa, a Sigma Chi chapter has been indefinitely suspended by the Sigma Chi fraternity of international fraternity for accountability issues. Closed. Doors closed. 2022, Emory University Sigma Chi fraternity will be removed from Eagle Row for the duration of 2022 and 2023 academic year for violating the undergraduate code of conduct, including use of alcohol, non-compliance, and accountability issues. 2015, LSU has confirmed the Sigma Chi fraternity has been kicked off the campus permanently due to a lack of accountability. 2006, Sigma Chi fraternity pleaded guilty in November to 6 hazing violations and was found guilty of 1 more after an anonymous email sparked an investigation that lasted almost a month. Charges include forced consumption of alcohol and drugs and other substances, verbal harassment and assault, and forced illegal activities as tasks. 2020, a former University of Texas at Arlington student is suing Sigma Chi fraternity because of an alleged hazing incident that sent him to the hospital into intensive care unit. 2004, OU freshman Blake Adam Hammondtree, 19, was found dead Thursday morning in the Sigma Chi fraternity house, said the officer on the scene. And when I was trying to do research for this, you know what keeps popping up over and over and over and over? And yourself. By alcohol. Yeah.
Wait, what's his name?
Freshman Blake Adam Hammondtree. I already know what you're talking about. There's multiple.
He unalived himself by over-consuming alcohol?
Correct.
So it wasn't labeled accidental death. It wasn't labeled hazing.
Nope. Just
manslaughter.
Just like the one by Moscow. Moscow. Yeah.
There's two by Moscow.
I know
one
there
just isn't Sigma Chi.
Yeah.
One is another fraternity. But one is Sigma Chi. 2004
Durham, the University of New Hampshire has suspended the Sigma Chi fraternity indefinitely amid an investigation into whether a student found dead in a marshy area Sunday was involved in an altercation at an event hosted by fraternity members.
Oh.
Does that sound familiar?
Oh.
Yeah. The body of a 22-year-old Vincenzo Vinny LaRossi was located by a search and rescue team off Co Drive in Durham Sunday afternoon after about 36 hours after police say he was last seen alive. He was reported missing early Saturday. The medical examiner's office is still trying to determine the cause of death. Now, I went looking into this cause of death, and I could not find anything. It was written off as an accident due to alcohol consumption.
That's the issue.
All of them.
That's the issue, is with every single one of these, you guys, which I've looked into several too, and there's one that I want to cover more in depth soon because they deserve justice. This is lies. This is lies, okay? Not every single death with an assault, with contusions on the head, can be claimed an accident.
That
doesn't make sense. There's some here that maybe they were an accident, but you can't claim unaliving by alcohol.
Listen.
I feel like unless you got pills in your system or something, that's insane.
I've had friends that have drank so much that you get to a point like, I don't understand the drinking thing because, like, essentially what you would have to do is drink like a gallon of straight alcohol all at once.
Beer bong.
Otherwise,
you'd have to beer bong a gallon of like Jack or something.
Pretty much.
Honestly, a fifth might be enough to kill you, to be honest, depending on who you are.
Yeah, I guess depending on who you are.
Beer bonging a fifth could kill some people.
I mean, I've beer bonged a fifth of alcohol.
Yeah, but that's probably after having a huge tolerance and
fair.
There's a lot of things that go into that.
Yeah. 2008, San Jose. Hundreds of protesters marched Saturday night through downtown San Jose, urging the shutdown of fraternity house Sigma Chi, where Gregory Johnson Jr., a black university student, was found dead in 2008. About 300 people marched from San Jose City Hall to Sigma Chi fraternity house, raising pointed questions about the circumstances and investigations surrounding Johnson's death. The residence in the 200 block of South 10th Street was boarded up before the march and rally. The Santa Clara County coroners ruled that Johnson Jr. ended himself after his body was found in 2008 hanging in the basement of the fraternity house across the street from San Jose State University. However, the parents of Johnson Jr. have denounced the official findings and say that they don't believe the determination their son was correct, that he did not end himself. They said, in quotes, I know my child would not end themselves, Dennis Johnson, the deceased student's mother, told a rally of people in front of the Sigma Chi frat house. He was a happy kid. Now, do we hear that a lot, to be fair? Yes, we hear from parents all the time that
Yeah, but they have
people
evidence.
I know. And people who have ended themselves, parents always sound like this. Like, I can't believe that. I can't believe it. I understand that too. But I need you guys listening right now because I don't have time to go into the details of every one of these. Otherwise, like I said, we'd be here an hour and a half. But there's evidence that he did not do this. There is evidence in almost all of these that they did not do that, okay?
Yeah.
So
real evidence, not things you can just look past easily.
No. We're talking about pictured contusions, bumps, bruising that are in places that you wouldn't be able to do to yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you were just going to,
Yep. Absolutely.
end yourself, that wouldn't happen.
So, Sigma Chi International Fraternity Statement on Student Deaths at the University of Idaho. Oh, wait. That's not the one I meant to put here. So, there are 2 deaths in the area that are tied to Sigma Chi. Police release cause of death for University of Idaho student found in Paradise Creek. So both of these next cases are tied directly to Greek Row in the area, are tied directly to fraternities in the area. You have Hudson R. Lindo, 19 of Boise, was found at 11:28 a.m. Sunday in Paradise Creek near College Avenue. According to a news release from police, Lindo's cause of death was labeled an accidental drowning. An accidental drowning. Interesting. And what is really interesting with that is where they're claiming he drowned in the winter is like no water. That creek is like no water.
No, there's it's a few inches of water or something like that. I can't remember what exactly is, but it doesn't make sense. And I saw people mentioning, well, he could have just dry drowned. Look up dry drowning. It's considered a myth. It's considered a very outdated term.
Yeah.
So I'm not convinced of that.
Yeah. And then here is another one. So this is the story. So student highly intoxicated at death. UI forms task forces on Greeks and on drug abuse. Weird Ricks, I probably hacked that and I apologize. BAC was twice the legal limit. Parents upset no one helped their son.
Y. Derricks or something like that?
Y. Derrick, yep. Joseph Y. Derrick, 18 of Haley, Idaho, had been attending a party at Sigma Alpha Epsilon Fraternity January 19th with his Theophilus Tower roommate when they were separated, and he never returned. His body was discovered on ice under the same bridge, same spot.
Paradise Creek Road Bridge,
along Mountain View Road around 4 p.m. on January 21st. Police determined he walked nearly 7 miles before falling down the frozen Paradise Creek bed where he died of hypothermia. Walked 7 miles with what they're claiming is a high enough BAC, blood alcohol content, or blood alcohol level, to effectively end you alone, but he walked 7 miles and fell by himself.
Yeah.
Strange circumstances here.
Very
strange circumstances
what year is
on
this
both
one
of
from?
these. 2012, 2013.
The other one was more recent, though.
It was, yep.
That one was it was the Sigma Chi fraternity house, wasn't it?
It was, yep. And then you have the other newer one, Luke Tyler, was found dead in his dorm on January 22nd. Now, again, you guys, and this is in Washington. So Whitman County Coroner Annie Pillars confirmed Monday that 19-year-old Luke M. Tyler died from ending himself from being in acute intoxication due to combined effects of alcohol and bupropion. Yeah. No way, dude. So you I do not believe that somebody is like, oh, my life is so bad, so horrible.
It's Wellbutrin. That's Wellbutrin.
I'm going to drink until I end myself.
They're saying Wellbutrin and alcohol killed him? And that was on purpose and intentional?
Yep.
No, I don't buy it. I do not buy this. His
parents don't buy that either. His parents don't buy that either. They believe that he was at a party at a fraternity and that he was put back in his bed after whatever happened. So, yeah. But where I'm going here is like, we're looking for behavioral traits, right? Where you have these fraternities, specifically Sigma Chi, because it's in this situation. We are not putting down Sigma Chi or all of Sigma Chi, but we're trying to find, is there a situation where one of these guys would be attracted to Sigma Chi because they are more loose around rules, behaviors, and regulations. So they're like, hey, Sigma Chi is where the parties are, and they don't hold anybody accountable. You can literally do whatever you want. You know what I mean?
Like when you're shopping fraternities and you're getting advice from people, you're looking it up. Well, Sigma Chi is that's where the party is. If you want to go to college and have fun and party, then that's your fraternity.
And do whatever you want.
And not have a bunch of boundaries. Yes.
Yep.
I mean, people are going to talk. This is going to be well known among people who are looking into joining a fraternity.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, yeah, I think somebody who could possibly do criminal things would be attracted to this fraternity if that's the word on the street.
Yep. And you know what's interesting with the last case that I talked about is when this story originally broke, it broke saying this young man died from hazing, forced intoxication, and the story changed to that, which I see a pattern of this happening, all right? I saw
They don't
a
want to
pattern.
get caught for hazing, so they hide it.
They don't want to get caught for hazing. They're having their houses being closed down around them all over the place, over and over and over and over again. There's some major accountability issues going on here. And remember, you guys, what I said in the beginning of this. So when somebody leaves a college, okay, those funds stop going to the college. You pay for your college and then you leave. You're out. You're done. There is nothing else you pay to that college. Well, a lot of people will donate to the college to help because they're self-funded and everything. For every $1 that a non-Greek life member gives to the college, pays to the college after graduation, a Greek life member gives 10. Okay? Now, another really interesting thing that I started looking into is how much does do fraternities and specifically Sigma Chi give to colleges? Now here's the interesting thing, okay? They don't ever give directly to colleges, but they do give directly to colleges, but what their biggest money they give is they will target specific schools where there's problems, and they will give they'll give awards to students to drive students into that college, said college. So as an example, so let's say you have U of I, okay, and they're
struggling.
Their student body base is down 40% because a major crime happened. Sigma Chi could effectively come in and start handing out what's it called? Where they pay for the school,
scholarships.
They start handing out scholarships left and right to people to go to U of I.
Oh, okay. So yeah, they're doing scholarships to project
into the college's pocket.
I see what you're saying.
So and on average, Sigma Chi very roughly, gives about $600,000 a year in scholarships. Then they turn around and give over $5 million a year, just to support said college focal points. So like for a college that focuses on healthcare, you know, they'll give to their healthcare department. For a college that focuses on law, they'll give to their legal department, and those things. So roughly, what I could see, they're giving over $5 million a year to these colleges.
like split up between all colleges,
No.
or each college is getting $5 million a year?
They pick and choose where it goes. So, and
That didn't really answer my question.
I mean, it does, because why would they pick and choose where some money goes at some points? Because
So on
money has
average-
power.
On average, each college
No.
gets $5 million. Or
yes,
total
yes.
annually. That's
Yes.
what the
Yes, on
international-
average, each gets $5 million.
Okay.
But they can pick and choose where that money goes. So
Right.
money is power. And where do I need power? Oh, at Berkeley last year, we had that really bad situation where a whole bunch of our fraternity members ended up getting in trouble. So we need to make sure that we give to Berkeley
good.
extra this year.
Make up for it. Get back in their good graces.
Exactly.
Just donate a little bit more money and they'll get off our case and leave us alone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what's interesting here is I know I went over some of these stats in our last video around the drug theory video, but fraternities are, and this is a real life stat, did you know 45% of people, men that leave fraternities, have drug and alcohol addiction problems? Real life statistic. 45% of people that leave fraternities have drug and alcohol addiction problems.
How many people total on the planet? Like, what's the percentage for that? How many people are addicts?
I think it's like, I don't know, 20% or something. But
'Cause that's
45%
crazy-
is half.
Yeah.
Half of fraternity members, male fraternity members, end up becoming addicts. Now, here's another interesting stat. Did you know male members of fraternities are 300% more likely to assault another person?
Wait, what?
Male fraternity members are 300% more likely to assault another person.
That's terrifying.
That is terrifying. And women in sororities are 6 times more likely to have sexual assault done to them.
Oof.
And sororities are tied with fraternity. Like, sororities is a semi-new name. They used to be called women of fraternities.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's super misogynistic.
Yeah. So, when looking at all these details, you guys, I'm curious how you feel about it. I'm really curious how you guys feel about this, because I look at this and I see so many problems here. So many problems here.
Yeah.
And with that sorority stat, I know I said that they're more likely, but it's 1 in 5 sorority women get assaulted. 1 in 5. Yep. 1 in 5. So I'm hearing addiction, drug use, assault, physical assault, sexual natured assault.
And it just goes
Scary
back to
stuff, dude.
Every victim in this case, in the Idaho 4 case, was a sorority or fraternity member. And there was a fight at a frat house literally hours before the crime.
Yep. So, I don't even feel like I need to give you guys my opinion. There is a direct correlation to R word,
Violence.
Yep, there's a direct correlation to people who are serial R-wordists and murderers.
Violence and drugs.
And this, exactly. And it's not only that this chapter could be tied to violence and drugs, because they all can. It's that we're literally seeing signs of that in this town.
In Moscow.
We just talked about, what was it, four, not including the Idaho 4 murders.
Yep.
Or kids dying. I'm sorry, kids dying.
Well, not to mention the kid that died from an overdose.
Yep, I know. I know. But I'm curious how you
fifth.
guys... Yeah. I'm curious how you guys feel about it. We have the statistics to back it up here. We have things that we're seeing happening that back up those statistics in this general area. And then there is a storyline, a very, very compelling storyline that this Idaho 4 crime could have been done by a fraternity.
And
If it's not Kohberger, or maybe he's involved with it. We don't know. Was he looking to join a fraternity because he was trying to become more social?
he wouldn't have joined a Moscow fraternity. He didn't go to school there.
That doesn't mean anything.
My
He
question-
could be hanging around fraternity members. We don't know that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
I think that's a real possibility. I'm not willing to say Kohberger's innocent no matter what, dude.
I'm not either.
Where's a connection here? Could he have been known to have knowledge and experience, and a fraternity member reached out to him? Could he maybe not be involved at all? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But this is very compelling statistical data that backs up the 4chan theory.
It does, and I wonder, because I feel like every time this gets brought up, like the naysayers or people who doubt it, which I'm also a skeptic and doubt it, but because I don't know what to believe in this situation, I just want to look at the evidence. But they say, you really think that everybody else would cover up this crime for them?
Based on what we see.
How many police officers are Sigma Chi?
I haven't got into that. I don't know.
Don't know yet. How many elected officials are Sigma Chi?
Well,
we just
I
heard
mean,
Brad
we have
Pitt was in Sigma Chi.
We have 250,000 alive people, living members.
Yeah, but also, like, how do we know that this didn't occur between a couple Sigma Chi members who then swore themselves to secrecy and didn't tell the rest of the members?
For sure. We have a Sigma Chi fight. That sounds very similar to another one of these Sigma Chi situations where all of a sudden there was a fight between this man and somebody else in Sigma Chi. It involved alcohol, it involved drugs, and then all of a sudden, he's found later the next day.
Yep.
Dead. So, I'm curious what you guys think, though. Share your questions that you think when you're hearing about these stats, because this is scary stuff, man.
And they're sworn to secrecy. They are not able to just go out and talk about what's going on within the fraternity.
It's part of the commitment. It's part of the chant, and that's secret. I don't know what it is, but I know that when they pledge and make that commitment, the fraternity comes first above all things. All things, including law enforcement, including society, including anything, the fraternity comes first. So, is it even possible? I would love to hear from some fraternity members that, for whatever reason, are willing to talk about it and honestly talk about it. You know what I mean? But I would, even more than that, I want to know what you guys think.
Yeah, do you think it's even possible that this is even a possibility?
Right.
Because anything we talk about, any theory, it doesn't mean we're bought and sold on it, even if we talk about it convincingly.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that we believe it.
Absolutely.
It means that we're just looking at it.
Yep.
Okay?
Absolutely. But let us know.